Yo, my name's Andrew. I'm part of the Worship Arts crew here, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this idea of patience. Since Annika's already done the harder part of this, addressing personal patience, I get to explain the Bible's thoughts on patience with the people around you. We're gonna call this public patience. Alright, here's a dilemma to help illustrate this. Let's say I've been put in charge of a large factory, which I can already say is not a good idea in the first place. But since I own this factory, I have employees that help me run it. But let's say one of these employees is obsessed with this new show. Right? Like, they are obsessed with this show. Every day they just have to tell you about the new episode that came out, or send me all those YouTube links to best moment compilations from the show. Like, by the end of the conversation, you feel like you've seen the show already. But let's say this show gets in the way of this person's work, and instead of crunching the numbers the night before, they decided to do a 4-hour binge session and just lost track of time. But because of this, the factory overproduced almost 2 times the amount of product it needed to. And because of the inflation, the factory and the company whose product we were producing loses lots and lots of money. Now, how should I, as the superior, react? And of course, I could just go off on this poor soul and be really mean about it, but the Bible actually challenges us to make the harder decision and be patient. So in order to see what the Bible says about public patience, we can look at Paul. He's a huge figure in church history and wrote like a lot of the books of the New Testament. But where we're looking, Paul goes straight into it. It's in Ephesians 4:2. He says this: "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love." Now, when we look at this at first, it seems pretty straightforward, but context is key. The verse before this one says this: "As a prisoner of the Lord, then, I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received." Now, just to clarify, when it says live a life worthy, the term worthy just means to follow Jesus' example. And that's because Jesus already did the worthy part of everything. When he died on the cross, he took all of our unworthiness and made us worthy in God's eyes. So when Paul urges us to live a life worthy of the calling we've received, he's not asking us to live up to anything. In fact, we're asked to let go and serve the people around us, which is where we get into our next verse. "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love." That's our verse. He tells us to be patient because we have nothing else to lose. Jesus lost his life, so we don't have to stress out and try to be perfect all the time. We can be patient. We're able to be patient because of that. Now, it's important to make clear that just because we can be patient doesn't mean we can be lazy. Paul does an amazing job here and kind of gives us a mission statement. In Ephesians 4:2, he's basically telling us to live life like Jesus did. So Paul said that Jesus said that if you want to follow me, then this is what it looks like. So back to our scenario. This worker made a big mistake and is going to experience some big consequences because of it. But that doesn't mean we have to be mean or rude about it. We can still be patient. We can still be kind and loving with them because that's what the Bible tells us. But if I'm trying to live like Jesus did and how Paul encourages me to, then I'm going to try to be patient and avoid yelling or saying mean things that I don't mean. So in that way, I can be like Jesus and bear one another in love. So the next time you guys are in charge of a factory or find that one show that you love, I hope you can think about this and think how you can be patient in the moments where it's hard to be.